Good afternoon, everyone. We are so grateful and glad to have you all here today. How are you guys liking the snacks? Are they good? Don't leave any wrappers on the floor. I don't want Troy to get me, okay? Promise? Okay, excellent. All right, I'm Pamela Payne, and I'm the director of the Job Resource Center. And we would like to welcome you to our employer internship panel. Did I say it right, Marie? Mm-hmm. Student and employer internship panel. It used to only be called the employer internship panel, but then we got innovative and decided that we would invite some students. So we are very glad to have them here also. So at this time, I just want to just thank you, and I know that you're going to get some valuable information from this panel. I myself, I really feel that internships are near and dear to my heart because it really didn't help me to decide what I wanted to do. What it helped me to decide is what I didn't want to do. And sometimes that is a good answer to have. Sometimes it's really good to know what you really don't want to do, right? Right? So this is going to be very helpful for you. Take advantage of getting an internship. It gets you experience. It helps you in the world of work. You do a really good job. It gets you access to skill sets that you never thought of. And you can get some good references from some of your internship supervisors. So we're gonna take an opportunity for you all to hear from both sides. I think we have a fabulous panel that Marie Harold is gonna introduce you to, but I'm gonna introduce you to Marie Harold. She is our wonderful internship manager. She is in the Job Research Center in S202, and she has been a gift to this program, and we are so grateful to have her. So Marie, come on up.
Thank you so much, Pamela, for that. I appreciate that. I want to thank the panelists for being here also. This is a great opportunity for you to get information about being in an internship and also what it takes to be an intern. So definitely. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to start with the panelists and have them introduce themselves. They've got a little slip of paper there. They have some questions for them to answer. So I'll start with the first one. Oh, actually what I'll start with is the agenda. We've got Pamela Payne that did the introductions, the welcome. We have me now. I'll be actually your moderator for today. I'll tell you our mission statement, introduce the panelists, questions from me that the panelists will answer, and then hopefully we'll have enough time for the panelists to answer some questions that you may have for them, and then we'll do the closing. So first one up, I'll actually tell you our mission statement. The mission statement of the Job Resource Center is to connect students, alumni, and community members to jobs and internship opportunities. This statement actually recently changed for us, and what we thought about what is it that we exactly do. And this is exactly what we do. It's a short statement, but it says everything that we do. And how our mission is accomplished is we offer these panels that we have, so career-related events. We also have job and internship fairs. We have listings, postings. You can also come to see us for individual appointments also. So that's how our mission is accomplished. And then what we do is we are enhancing the successful pursuit of employment and also internship opportunities. So that is the Job Resource Center in a nutshell. So now I will start off with the panelists and introduce. The first one is Laura Brown.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, I guess. My name is Laura Brown. I work for Fanning Communications. I am a government contract specialist. I know that's not very exciting. I've had internships, lots of them over the years in a lot of different fields, from zoology, that's actually my bachelor's degree, zookeeping, HR opportunities. I worked in risk management, insurance, all sorts of stuff. So I got involved with the Job Resource internship program, I think through the employee fair that was recently held, and they reached out to us and asked if we'd like to be here today, and here I am. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Barbara Darden, and I'm a student here at Moraine Valley. I interned at Disney World in Florida, and I was a concierge at one of the resorts. Doing that internship was probably one of the biggest impacts on my life, other than my children and those types of things. But professionally and educationally, I learned more about myself at this point in my life by being in an internship and being around other people that were learning the same things that I was at the time that I was, and having when you're at a company that has internships, you have employers out there that want to help you, and they're eager to help you. So it has changed my whole impact on the position I'm in my life, which is re-entering the workforce after so many years. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Elleen Kerlin-Walsh. I'm an attorney. I have a practice in Worth, which is very close to here. I am also a motivational speaker and writer. I have my own motivational company, and I speak far and wide on what I believe makes life successful, peaceful, and happy. I have held internships. I've had interns, and I've had internships myself. When I was still in law school, I interned with the Public Defender's Office, which is where I wanted to go. And I did indeed get a position there when I finished. So it was really, really valuable. I have also had interns in my office. I've found it beneficial for them, beneficial for me. I've even hired some of my interns. So it's a terrific opportunity. I became involved with Moraine through teaching here. I have taught on and off in the business law program for about 10, 11 years now. I love Moraine Valley. I'm a huge fan, and I come back here any opportunity I can. So I'm delighted to be here today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is, can you hear this okay? My name is Michael Masri. I am an intern, a student intern with the Cook County Sheriff's Office. I currently am in the legal department at the office building 3826 California that is on the jail compound. And the internship has given me not only a reinforcement of my curriculum, that I'm currently a criminal justice student here. It doesn't only reinforce that curriculum and put it into practice, it shows the clear differences. And it's very valuable to know how things should work in theory and how things work in practice. So that's kind of my spiel.
Hi, my name is Xavier Murphy. I currently work at and interned at the Hill Group, which is one of the largest mechanical contracting companies in the United States. I attended Moraine Valley for about 4 years, just got my associates in May, and I currently attend Illinois Institute of Technology, majoring in industrial technology and design. And the position I hold at the Hill Group is CAD technician, which means that we do drawings, prints, work on different kind of projects. We also design mechanical systems, plumbing systems for different types of buildings, research centers, data centers. And the impact of having an internship on my education is I got to learn how to work on a project with many different team members, how to solve issues involving projects, and things like that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rose Ringenberg from Elam Christian Services. My background is in education. I was a teacher for 24 years. I have 4 degrees, 2 masters. I've had a lot of experience with interns. I was a student teacher, so back then, you know, you have to spend, I had a student teach for a whole year, but now it's a little bit different. And I currently work in the HR department where I oversee all interns in our whole company. We have students with disabilities from age 3 all the way up to we have a 90-year-old senior. So we have a lot of opportunities for internships.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Can we have a hand applause for them? So now what I'm going to actually start the questioning. So whoever wants to step in at this point can step in. It doesn't have to go in any particular order. Just make sure that we're close to the mic so they can get us on our live stream. So I'll start with the first question. How does the employer benefit from having an intern? And as an intern, how does the intern benefit from having an internship?
I'll start. for the employer, and sometimes the interns don't realize that there is tremendous benefit for the employer, but from an employer standpoint, to have an intern, though there is some work involved in training the intern, that's absolutely the responsibility of the employer, but it definitely adds new life, new energy, new ideas to the company. And if you do have clients or any kind of a client contact business, it's nice to look well staffed, and it really is great to have that extra pair of hands around. It's inexpensive, it's extra help, and it has many benefits. For the student, the benefits are innumerable. You get terrific experience. You're going to get to meet people in the profession that you want to be in. You really can get to show people what you can do. And I think the most valuable thing about an internship, even if it's unpaid, is that you are showing that you're prepared to give your time for free because you know how valuable you are. You're there to learn, but your time is so precious. To give it away for free shows that you know that you're going to show these people what you can do. Very beneficial for all parties.
I'll go ahead. My internship was incredible to me, and I'm obviously not the traditional student. And so when you can go out there when you are actually entering a new chapter in your life, and you can still learn from people because there's just so much out there. And again, when you're working for a company that wants interns there, they're so eager to share with you information. They'll train you. They'll help you not only professionally, but personally. And it has really affected the way that I look at my education. I see it as much more valuable than I did before I served my internship. But I also see that by working for a company that I am valuable, that they do appreciate me, and that I can do the jobs that are put in front of me. And you can't learn that. You have to experience it.
Basically, what both of those lovely ladies said, I would agree with. In our office, we're in advertising. So this is it's completely different than it was 20 years ago. Everything is social media at this point. And it's really good when we get interns in because they bring ideas that we don't even know sometimes are going on right now. So that energy, that vitality is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And in my experience, I didn't intern in an ad agency or anything like that, but I did intern in lots of different things. And for example, if anybody's in biology and things like that, I did zoology internships where I worked at zoos. And trust me, it's really difficult to get into a zoo. If anybody's looking into that, look into internships because they won't even look at you, even if you have a master's degree sometimes. So you have to get that experience, get out there. It's very beneficial to you because you're direct in contact doing those kinds of things. You're meeting people, you're networking, and it's just a bonus for you.
I agree with that also. I'm strictly education. It's all I've ever done. Schools. So we are surrounded by interns, everyone from social workers to counselors. Everybody in the education industry has some phase of their life that is strictly an intern phase. And I feel like in education, we understand how painful it is to come to work every day and be great and not get paid for it. So I feel like in the education setting, there's so much empathy on both sides. And it's nice for an intern to come and you can actually say, I've been in your shoes, because we really all have been there. We've all started out without getting paid, working hard. And I think it helps with the interns that come in that we are empathetic towards what they're going through.
I think there are many benefits to having an internship. First is the experience that you get. Next is the networking. You get to network with different people, especially in the career that you want to choose or get into. Also, you get to learn what you like and what you do not like, which is very important. Also, that's it for me. I'll have more.
Well, I'll kind of take over there. I also want to stress the networking abilities. I personally know 4 former interns that have positions at the sheriff's office right now. And that's the common trend. If you show them that you're willing to go there, not get paid for it, learn, you're a go-getter, the environment itself, and I think you'll find this across most governmental agencies, they are so large, especially in this area, that you are you have a supervisor, but you're essentially self-guided when you're doing your work. And that instills a sense of, I think, a sense of need almost in you to go beyond, to surpass your own limitations and show them exactly what you're capable of. And I think that skill alone is one of the greatest skills in this job market to have. And employers are going to see, even if you do an internship at any organization and you don't end up working there, when you go to any business that's hiring and you have on your resume, you did this internship, they're going to look at you a lot different, I believe. And especially if it's somewhere, in a large company or a governmental sector, they're going to look at you like, wow, you completed that there, huh? And they're going to look at you differently. I think that's very important.
Thank you all. Those are great answers. Other than following your school requirements or their school requirements for the students, what additional steps should the student take in looking for an internship?
Okay. Yeah, I'll take this one. My internship is it was done in a non-traditional fashion. I obtained the internship on my own before Moraine Valley was involved with it, and then I kind of worked backwards. And I think that kind of set me apart as far as, I'm getting school credit for it now within criminal justice. But especially to the instructor, that kind of set me apart. And my supervisor knows that I came in there willing just to volunteer there, that I wanted to work there so bad. I'm giving them my time and not expecting anything for it. And that makes him a lot more willing to give me more of his limited time because he knows that I really want to work there. And he shows me stuff that he necessarily wouldn't, talk about with other interns that he's had. Just because of that, if you form that relationship with your supervisor. So
I would add, in addition to what the school offers you and those requirements and internships that are available, go beyond. Look at the next level up. Look at your parents, the local businesses. Look for internships that they haven't even thought about. Whatever it is that you want to do, go along to businesses. And I don't just knock on doors. Find out what the local business community is. Excuse me. Local chambers are a terrific way to find business owners that are prepared to step out of their own little cell and go beyond and communicate with the other business owners. Get a copy from each of the local chambers of all the business members. Go to them or even find out when there's a meeting and present yourself. Just get yourself in front of the type of business that you want to do the internship. And just remember, your time, your valuable time, inexpensively is very, very attractive. So if the opportunity that you want isn't there, create it.
I would add to that, too, if you know a particular field or a particular company that you want to work for and do your internship for, research that company. When you talk to them, let them know, I am interested in you. Yes, I know what you do. I know what you've done. I know where you want to go. I know what your mission is. And this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I can offer you when I'm here serving you my internship. Let them know what you can do for them. We know that you're going to benefit, but they need to know that they are too.
Another thing I'd like to add too is that sometimes the internship you might want and the business that you might want, sometimes there might not be one. So maybe look a little outside the box too, something that might be an interdiscipline. Again, in our advertising agency, there's just so much talent and people that we utilize. We work with people that are photographers, designers, sales, public relations, and maybe you're a writer. Well, that's a good avenue to get an internship at a place like that. I mean, don't just think, oh, I want to do this, so I have to go to this place and I can't get the internship. Don't be discouraged. Go out there and say, well, what else? How does it else relate? How does it kind of fit together? Because that experience will just be immeasurable to your job experience.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Great advice there. I'm happy that
Let me just add one point. Sometimes if you don't get an immediate response from the company, you think they're not interested. Just remember that these businesses are so busy and they have so much going on that it's not at all untoward to take a couple of extra steps, send a follow-up. Sometimes you want that vibrant, busy company, but it's hard to get in because they're so busy with their work that they really haven't maybe been able to take the time. So if you make it really easy for them to bring you on board, go that extra mile, take a couple of extra steps to remind them that it's a really good thing to have you on board.
Thanks. Thank you. What advice would you give students entering or going into an internship interview?
I'll start if you don't mind. I interview all the time now. Be realistic. Have a finish in mind. Sometimes people are so geared, so worried about getting it, that once you get your internship, you're like, okay, now what? So when you come to me, I'm looking for a few things as far as your skills are concerned. I want you to come to me with a plan. I would like this internship for blank amount of time and then pursue a career in this certain field. Because once I hear that, then I can kind of help you finish your goal. That we know internships have a finish. Either it's with my company or you're going to go on, but we know they're like temporary, but they shouldn't just be without a goal in mind. Have an end in mind when you present yourself for your internship. We all know that it is a stepping stone. Tell us really realistically where you really want to go. Like the zoologist said, she's been everywhere, and that's great because it helps you finally get on track. And once you are on track, that's where you want to stay. So my advice is have a good finish plan.
And also to that point, you made a very good point about the finish plan. But also they want to know, how is this going to integrate into your curriculum specifically? If you obtain this internship, how are you going to use it, and how are you going to use what you've learned in your internship? It works both ways. So they want to know where you're at educationally, and they want to know, how does this fit into your overall plan?
I would just offer some general interview advice. To look terrific, show up on time, have a terrific resume, be prepared to let them know why you want the interview, everything that the previous panelists have said, but let them see you. Try not to be so nervous that you don't show them you. Be prepared to talk about everything. Talk a little bit about yourself. I encourage that. I want to see that person that I'm going to be having around quite a lot, for the foreseeable future. So you want to make sure that they can really see who you are. And then if there is anything on your resume that you see as a stumbling block, be prepared to put a positive spin on it. Be prepared to show how you have a life lesson from that. Sometimes it's hard if you're going back after years raising a family, or there's been a long period of unemployment. Whatever it is, have given the time to think about how you can turn that into a positive life lesson. Be really prepared to talk about yourself and why you're the ideal candidate, and make sure that anything that you don't be just hoping they don't ask you about something. Be prepared to talk about it positively.
I would just add, when you're out there, it's like a job interview, and you're going out there and you're talking to them. But on that, be realistic. Don't oversell yourself, because you don't want to get to your internship and not be able to fulfill your obligation. You've not done yourself any favors or them. So be realistic in what your capabilities are now as well, so that they know exactly what to expect.
Some of the advice that I would give would be to like research the company that you want to intern for, kind of see what they like, what they don't like, the things that they do. Another important advice I would give is like when I went to my internship interview, I showed them all the things that I did in school, all the drawings, all the portfolios, things like that. So they got a gauge of what I did at school. So they were able to kind of see the things that I did well and things that I didn't do well. So that's important too.
I would also agree with all the previous panelists' answers to this. Just be prepared to, to be yourself. Be prepared to answer why them taking you on as an intern is going to help not only them but you. It's two-sided, and I think a lot of times, we forget that when we go on those kinds of interviews in those moments. So just be prepared to answer that question of why me? What is it going to do, not just for you, but for me too? And how's it all going to fit together and benefit everyone involved?
What advice would you give a student once they have obtained the internship to make the most out of that internship?
Oh, I'll take that one. Go the extra mile. Get there early, leave late, do everything you're asked to do, offer to do anything additional. Just show them who you are. Put your whole entire effort and energy into it. And one thing I think is really important is to try to be big picture thinking. If your internship is in a particular area or a division, try to see the whole company. Try to figure out where that division fits in the company, where that particular location fits in the entire country or the world. Just take every opportunity to make this really valuable, to really get noticed and go the extra mile.
I did my internship at Disney, like I said, and when I was down there, they offered up panels like this to meet with people that were management across property so that you could learn what they did to get where they were in their career. If you're going somewhere to do an internship and they offer something to you that will be beneficial to you, they want you to do it. So accept it and learn from them as much as you can. Don't feel that you're taking advantage or that you don't want to ask too much of them. If they're offering something for you, it's because they want you to do it. And please partake in much of it as you can. Learn as much as you can.
I mean, the whole idea of bringing an intern in is obviously for your benefit and the company's benefit too, as we've talked about. So, as she said earlier, don't be afraid to take on other tasks or ask to. Hey, can I help with that? Some of the interns I've worked with in the past, I love those interns that come forward and say, can I do something more? Can I do something more? Be eager. It's a great sign of, wow, she or he really shines. We like that kind of person. We want that around here. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to ask, what more can I do? What more? That's the best question of all. What more can I do? What more can I be helpful with?
Also, they might not place you exactly where you want to be, especially if it's a large company or a governmental agency, definitely a governmental agency. They're not going to put you exactly where you want to be. So the workload, I'm speaking from my experience at the sheriff's office, is completely varied. Some weeks you're going to be buried with work, and other weeks there's not going to be much to do. When you have that time, when there's not that much to do, hey, can I go see, this division, or can I go see this department? Something that, you were trying to work towards, or maybe even you applied for a job there already, and you want to maybe go network with some people there and see what the job is like more in depth than what you read on the online application or what you read on the paper application.
Anybody else? Okay. Were you going to speak?
Yeah. I think in my experience, when I first started working at Hill, I first started like in the print room where we get to read all the blueprints and things like that, learn how all the systems work, the plumbing systems and things like that. So I was able to learn how things work before I became a CAD technician. So that was a pretty important coming in. So that was an important experience for me.
Thank you. What I like about having these panels and just listening to the employers and also the students is that a lot of the stuff that you're saying here too, I say these in my presentation, so to hear it from you, to have this even broadcast and something that we can replay back to the students, to give them that information to say, hey, it's not me making this up. We actually have people who have done it, are doing it, and employers who are expecting this from you. So I love the answers. Next question. What has been one mistake that has been seen, that you have seen an intern do, and how did or should they correct it? And then as for the student panelists, what was one mistake that you may have done during your internship, and how did you correct it?
I'll jump in with, and this is just general advice about any interview or any position, would be don't get involved in a culture of gossip or talking about other employees. It's also very distasteful if you just do what the boss says, but not necessarily from what maybe an employee in a lesser position would tell you to do. If you can act with truly the mail room the same as you with the president's office, you're really going to make a tremendous difference. And if you see that culture, and sometimes there is a culture of gossip and unkindness, don't contribute to it. Just be above it. Act as if it's not there. And you can do that. And maybe you could contribute towards changing it. But don't let yourself get drawn into that at all. Not even to have favor with someone who's talking about the boss. Stay away from it and focus on your tasks. It'll be the best in the long run.
I think that one of the things that I learned when I was working at Disney is that I try to be kind, and I try not to judge people because I don't want people to judge me. But sometimes something happens, and we get opinions. We're human. We do that. And while my situation wasn't bad and it didn't create any bad situation, I did form an opinion, and then I learned that my opinion was very far from true. I was way off base, and not in a real bad way or anything. But I guess the thing is, when you're looking at people and things are happening, don't immediately assume that they don't know what they're doing, or they shouldn't be doing that, or they're whatever. And maybe that's hand in hand with what she's saying about not gossiping, but give people the opportunity to, or give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them the opportunity to be right, or look at them as what they may be doing right, and don't assume things are what you think they might be. They just may not be.
Beautiful.
I think that an intern, a really great intern to me, is someone who at a staff meeting, because we have over 400 employees, and if we have a staff meeting and someone will say, oh, who's that? Then that they blend in so well that you don't even know that they're not an employee. We jokingly call it drinking the Kool-Aid. We want you to come and be with us, not against us, and so that everybody just assumes you are part of the family. You're gracious and you're as kind as you can be at work, that you do not stick out. You don't ever want to be the one we're talking about as an intern in a negative way. You just don't want to be that person. You want to be the one where everybody comes to you, this intern did this intern did that. You just hear fabulous stories. And then I do have one story of a mistake an intern made, a big data entry. We had a huge data entry thing. And this intern, she was just adorable, was working on it, and she deleted it. I mean, like no backup at all, just deleted. It was, honestly, it was like a year of work, and she deleted it in one button. But it was funny. She owned it right away. So if you do make a mistake, own your mistake. We all make mistakes. And we learned so much from her mistake because we thought it was all on this certain drive, and it wasn't. So her little mistake actually saved us in the long run. So if you do make a mistake, own it.
I would agree with the ladies again. There's a big difference between friendly and familiar, that old discussion of how you should act in a professional setting. And that's true. You should be gracious and kind, but don't be over friendly either. I mean, and get into the gossip and those office politics. That's not why you're there. You're there to contribute. As for a mistake in an internship, I don't think I've worked with anyone that's made a huge mistake like that. But I know I did a zoology internship at a zoo, and I was preparing fish for penguins, and they taught me how to do it. And believe me, when you do that stuff, you're working with a lot of fish and guts and stuff like all the time. And you use a vitamin powder, okay, for some of them, because some are, anyway, I won't get into that. But I put the vitamin powder on all the fish, not, just thinking, I have to get this done because everything has to be super fast. And then I realized, oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to do that for this segment of this population. Oh, and, I could have just hit it and said, oh, well, what's the big deal? But that would have been detrimental to the animal, to everybody involved, and I was like, wait, I got to own that. So I did, and they weren't mad at all. Like, oh, no problem, come on, we'll do it, we'll get it fixed. And we did, and needless to say, they ended up offering me a job. So, I made a mistake. It was a big one, but I fixed it. So, honesty.
I kind of just want to add one thing, and it goes back to that gossip and the honesty, whatever, but when you get in, if you go somewhere and you get in this group where they're gossiping and they're talking, be rest assured when you're not in the group, they're talking about you. So don't give them anything to talk about. Don't partake in it.
To kind of add what these ladies were saying before, kind of own your mistake, and also don't be afraid to ask questions. If you have problems with anything or don't know anything, do not be afraid to ask questions. That's very important.
And I'll tell you one positive story about this. That's genuinely how I believe that we should behave, not get involved in the gossip mill. And I wasn't working for a company, but I had cause to be there 2-3 times a week. And there was a tremendous culture of, it happens sometimes. It wasn't just gossip, but it just was not a kind, friendly environment. I had to be there. I acted as if they were not speaking that way. I was always smiling. I was always, I just floated above it. And 10 years after I had that connection with the company, I got a brilliant business opportunity from the principal who noticed how I behaved. I was going there with no notion of that ever benefiting me in any way other than that's how I conducted my business. And unbelievably, this gentleman remembered my PMA, and I got a brilliant business opportunity from it. So you never know where the benefit of behaving that way is going to take you. It's always best in the long run.
Thank you. For those who don't know, could you explain what PMA is?
Oh, positive mental attitude. And because I'm a motivational speaker, I have studied every motivational speaker and writer and transformational teacher that there has been. And PMA was Napoleon Hill and Clement Stone in the 1950s. That was huge, to have a positive mental attitude.
Still is huge.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Next question. What skills and attributes do you look for when hiring an intern, and that's for the employers? And as the student, what skills and attributes did you gain while in your internship, or are you also gaining while you're in your internship? And what skills and attributes do you wish you had before the internship actually started that could have helped you? It was a lot, so if you need me to repeat that, I can say it again.
Can I start? Well, where I was placed in the legal department, I wish I had more knowledge of the law, but I'm not in law school, so, I kind of had to learn on my feet there. Had to learn how to use LexisNexis, it's a legal database, how to search and how to cite cases and read through case law, and I'm kind of learning that as I go along, but I'm it's fitting into my overall picture. I'm thinking of law school down the road. So these are important skills if you have these going into law school, I'm sure you can attest to that's a good start. So recognizing where you fall short and asking for help in that area, I think is truly very important in your internship.
I will say one of the, as I'm going around and I'm recruiting students to go to Disney and partake in their internship, again, even at my age, when I was down there and I was working with these people, I really learned people tolerance. I learned, I don't even know how to say it, not that I didn't have respect for people before, but when you're working around different people, people are different, and there's different types of, not different levels of, we should always respect everyone to the utmost, but you learn different types of respect and people tolerance, and I'm grateful for that. It's made me a better person.
Some of the skills that I've learned at my internship is using this program called Navisworks. It's a big thing, like in our program at our company. It's kind of like BIM technology. So anything we draw in AutoCAD, we get to see in 3D, and we get to look and see if we're hitting anybody else's pipes or things like that. So we work with all the trades like electrical, fire protection, our company. We draw it on the computer. We're looking at it in 3D and see if we're hitting anybody. We coordinate with each other. We design kind of with everybody. So it makes for less errors in design, I would say. So that's one thing that I definitely learned in my internship.
One thing, now I would be, maybe I'm a little tougher than most, but I think you really, and this is going to help you in everything in life, you've got to be able to do more, take on more than one thing at a time, be able to have several tasks, and try not to say to your supervisor, which should I do first? Develop the skill of knowing that A, B, C, D, and E might need to be done by Friday or by the end of the month. Figure out yourself how to get that all done. So that whole idea of that's going to make you a much more sophisticated employee or employer. I also like the idea of the SWAN. I said this last year, I'll say it again. Even if you have a lot on and you wanted this position and you're going to get a lot from it, try not to look really flustered or appear that it's too much for you. I love the idea of the swan floating along peacefully and net paddling furiously. Now, please let me add the caveat. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. If it is simply too much for you to be able to get done, not at the time you're given the task, towards maybe the end of the day or the end of the week, say, here are the things I'm working on, here are the deadlines, which of these should we prioritize given the time left? So don't be overwhelmed, that's simply not what I'm saying, but developing the skill of being able to have several tasks going at the same time, not saying, what should I do first, really shows that you're becoming a much more sophisticated, capable, competent worker.
And kind of to add to that as well, I think when you, a skill or attribute with some of the interns I've worked with and that I've even been involved with hiring, is that I want somebody who's kind of well-rounded. And so that I know that they can handle that multitasking sort of thing, but with competency. By not being, everything she said, by not being overwhelmed, by looking at things going, okay, you know, I can do 3 things at once, but efficiently. So when I talk to someone, I like to see that they have, they've done a few different things, that they're not just, this is all I'm going to do and this is all I can do and I'm a computer person. I want someone, oh no, I like people too. I like to get involved with things. So to me, those are great skills when we're looking for interns. We're looking for people that want to interact, can do the other stuff too, but also can interact with people.
Yes, I'd like to finish off with that. To me, there's 2 areas. I think skills and attributes are totally different things. I can see your skills on your resume. You could write everything you know. That, to me, is whatever. You've learned it. To me, an attribute is so much more important when I'm looking for an intern. I'm looking for a few things. I want you to be agreeable. I want you to be timely. I don't even like to even have to say that, how often I sit and wait for an internship, even just sending back something on the computer, which couldn't be any faster, and to sit and have to wait for your paperwork. So more of your life skills need to be developed when you come to an internship, because it's still a learning experience. Your skills are kind of behind you a little bit, and now you're learning to get along in your chosen work field, and every industry is different. The cultures are so different. His technical, I don't know, I don't even know what language he was speaking, but so like his culture is so much different than mine. My culture is developing human beings and teaching, and so my culture, I need you to be on time and agreeable and open to working with people, and if that's not what you want to do, then an internship is perfect. It helps you work on other attributes that if you see you are shy, you can't always be shy. You need to be assertive and to get your point across. So to develop your attributes is good for internships, so good for internships, and that leads to like mock interviewing and how, anytime you have a chance to practice anything, look for those here. You guys have a lot of mock interview dates. You should try and go for those, even for the internships. They just all help develop those attributes which employers are looking for. Just not your skill base, your attributes also. They're two different.
Yeah, great, thank you. And thank you, Rose, for plugging our mock interview day. For the employers, from an employer's perspective, does having an internship increase your career success, would you say? And then for the student, do you think your internship contributes to retention and completion of your program? And if so, why?
Okay, employer. Well, it's terrific on every level. One, it's just the experience. So if nothing else comes of it, you have that experience of that job. But you might get hired. I have hired interns because I got to see how good they were, and I wanted to keep them. And I'd already invested the time and the training, so it was absolutely a win-win. So you might get the job, or you might get a referral from another company that is hiring, even if that company isn't. Or last thing, you've got that great experience to put on your resume. So I see it as a win-win.
As a student, you will be put, I think, above the rest, assuming your internship is in your field of study, which most people would tend to sign up for an internship like that. Your instructors are going to look at you differently, I think, when your experiences with your internship and your knowledge base of the material comes out in class. I have teachers who ask me, hey, is this still the way they do it down at the sheriff's office? Is it still like this? Because they worked in the field, but they might not have been. I have a bunch of teachers that were correctional officers, but they haven't been correctional officers for 8 years or so, or 10 years maybe. And things are run a lot differently now. And they look to me at my experience and they say, well, are they still doing this or did they change this? And a lot of things change, and it changes even on a weekly basis. Policies change in governmental institutions. So being up to date on what's going on in your field is going to give you a huge advantage in your career program or in whatever program of study you're in. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that when we had a job luncheon here, and I was talking about Disney there. Disney is a company that everybody looks at with great respect. They're a well-oiled machine. They've been around for a long time, and there's companies that spend a lot of money to send their employees there. And one of the big things about them in their success is their interns. There was 7,000 college interns down there when I was down there. And of those, a great deal of them continue to work there. And if they go back and finish their degree, Disney loves to come back and hire people that did their college internship as a professional intern. And then they love to get their professional interns to come and stay on because they've grown through the company. So speaking from that perspective for them, I can say for Disney, it's one of the big keys for their success. And as a student, I feel that working in an environment, even though I was working in a resort and that's not my field of study, I was working for a company that's well respected and well regarded, not just here but around the world. And I got valuable experience from that just because of the utmost respect I had from everything I learned, regardless whether it was in my field or not. So.
I was also going to add as an employer, too, the internships you do are important in your discipline, just equally as much as not, in my opinion. But, for example, we had a girl that was a designer, that she did her internship, quite a few of them, with a lot of different little companies, including the Museum of Modern Art. And she had a hard time. It's hard to find a job as a good designer. And honestly, that's what sold her when she came in. When they saw that on the resume, the museum, you did an internship with them, you're hired. I mean, seriously, that's so sometimes, it's such a great thing to do internships with these great companies like Disney because honestly, it kind of opens that door a little more for you. Because sometimes it seems like it's just a shut door and you can't beat it down when you're out there finally interviewing. But when you've taken those internships on, especially with those prestigious places, honestly, it opens the door.
Speaking from the perspective of an intern that got hired full-time at the company I work for, the one thing they said when they first hired me to come on full-time was that I had great work ethic. And that's very important for any place that you work for, whether you're an intern, full-time employee. It's important to have good work ethic. And also, don't be afraid to ask any questions. Anything you need help with, wherever place you work with, I'm sure the people will be willing to help you out. So it's very important to have good work ethic and strong values. Companies definitely look for those two things.
That is an employer. That's also, I'm going to jump off of that. Like I have a lot of interns come through me, and some I will go out of my way. I will call everyone I know. I have an awesome person. Do you need them? I will be your best ally. Even if I can't hire you, I will work so hard to place you in your industry. We all, all employers kind of talk. So if you are an intern and you are just a heads up, great intern, your company that you're at will help you get a job. They'll write letters, like someone said, and we're on your side and you're on our side, and we're going to help you because you've already helped us. So it's such a win-win situation.
Okay. What career opportunities would an internship at your company lead to? Obviously, that's for the employers. And for the students, I guess besides Xavier right now, because we know now he's been hired full-time, but what career opportunities opened up for you due to your internship?
Well, when I was a student, I got a full-time position after law school from my internship, so it was a very positive experience for me. And as an employer, as I said previously, I can either hire the intern, refer the intern to another company that's hiring, or give them a terrific recommendation. Now, I have had interns that didn't work out either. And maybe the lesson from that is, and I've never thought about this before until you mentioned it, because I'm such an advocate and I believe in being so enthusiastic, it's only when you mention don't oversell yourself that I realize now that that's possibly what happened. The intern had obviously studied my law firm, indicated that this was the kind of law firm they wanted to work for, but it very quickly became clear that this was not their area that they were interested in, and they had just taken maybe the first internship that was available to them. So certainly try to get one in your field, but don't take something that you don't think you can contribute to or get good experience from.
The question was, let me see what the question was. Okay, I've been moving some stuff around to make it fit. What career opportunities opened up for you after your internship?
Well, I'm actually not looking for employment yet, but I will say that I have had people say, "Oh, you interned at Disney? When you're ready to work, give me a call. Let me know." And just knowing that I did my internship there. So that might be a little bit different than what most are, but people are looking for you, even if you're, even if your internship isn't in your field, they're looking for someone who's been exposed to that business environment and has learned how to interact in a professional level. And I think that when you do that and you bring that out with you and you display that, any career opportunity you're looking for, you're going to gain something from. Even if you don't get the job, you will gain something from that experience.
I'm going to answer this one as a student since I've done lots of internships. I guess the best experience I could say with this question would be when I did a lot of internships in college at wildlife rehab places. And it's a lot of work and it's really hard. And a lot of times the one place, the owner would always ask me to do the tours. And that's how they get money to keep doing what they're doing. And I was very good at it. I was great at it. And they got lots of money. So she set wonderful recommendation letters for me. So by the time I actually got my first paid job, I was doing education in an aquarium. And yes, I was the one that after they read all that, I got quickly promoted to giving all the tours to all the really famous people. And it was pretty exciting. And it was like, wow, but it started a chain reaction for me because I was good at what I did. So, with all my knowledge from the zoology, and then it just kind of built from there. So, I guess what I would say is that, doing that internship, the recommendation you can get, and like I said, I never went into that thinking, yeah, I want to tour people. I wanted to work with the animals, but then I found that I really liked that too, and I was good at it, and it was a great success for me. So that's what it leads to.
As a student, it is very important that I cannot stress how important the networking aspect is. I have the privilege of working right upstairs from the sheriff himself, and he knows this face. So that is very important when it comes time for him to hire people in certain areas. He knows my reports have gone directly to him. I mean, they've gone through my boss, but to him, and my boss gives me credit for what I work on. So he knows what I've been doing and the projects I've been working on. And when it comes time to hire somebody, he's going to know that I'm already there. I know what the issues are. I have some solutions for them. And look at me before you look at somebody else.
Anybody else? No?
Yeah. At my company, I'm a CAD technician. We have different layers to our company. So not only can you just go into like engineering services, which is the division I work in, you can go into accounting, you can go into project engineering, you can go into business, you can go into the field work and do that. You can go into the shop and do work there. I mean, so many different layers and so many different directions you can go. So you don't actually just have to just stay in your field. You can go in several different directions.
Yeah, that's like the best part of an internship. You're not married to your company. It's kind of just like a little trial, and you just know you're either going to go that way or not. And that's kind of like a little freeing as an intern. You can just try anything. And like I said, I've only been in education. I mean, since I was a little girl, it's all I've ever done is education. But it was kind of eye-opening when I got my second master's about how every industry has interns. And I wasn't really aware of that. I always knew law had interns and doctors, the medical field, there was always interns. You think of those two things. Ad agencies always had interns. But really, any industry that you even are thinking about, there is an internship available for you. So whatever interests you, go there, and it's there for you. There's internships for every industry, every industry.
Well, thank you all. That's the end of the official questions that I have. But I will give this opportunity if there's students or anyone out there who has questions for the panelists now. We've got a few minutes for that. If you have some questions, let me know, and I can come around with the mic. Just raise your hand.
Hi, I have a question. Before you go out to for your internship interview, do you get any help from the school, from your teachers, or do you just cold call it? How do we go about that?
I will tell you, when I went for my internship down to Disney, and I was showing them everything that I got from Moraine Valley to help me, they were in awe that I got so much assistance from my college. They didn't get the assistance that Moraine Valley gave me before I went. Moraine Valley, and I mean, that's all I can speak for, but they offered, assistance on my resume, on interviewing, on questions I might expect, and, how I might want to address the answer, and what you should wear, maybe, and I mean, just so much. And when I went down there, they gave me a sample of my budget. And like I said, the other students were just in awe at the information that I got. So I know it's available here. Not to plug anybody else, but I have to think they have something available at other schools. I don't know if my people I met just didn't take it, but there's a great deal available here.
No, that's the uniqueness of our program. We actually are the only ones who do that. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But
lucky me.
But that is, through the internship program, we definitely assist you. And in those, exactly what you said is exactly what we did. So throughout whatever internship that you're interested in going into, we can assist you with that. So definitely contact me, the internship manager, Marie. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any more questions?
Yeah, I'd like to help you with that answer also. Yeah, for sure go through your university, because even if you don't, I'm going to ask you if you did. I work with 90 colleges, schools, 90 different universities and stuff. Some literally just throw their students at me here, and they'll come to me, Rose, what am I supposed to do? And then there's other universities that coddle them too much. They send me their resumes. They send me everything. I don't want that either. So you have to kind of have a little, but make sure you contact your university, because there is a lot of help. But don't let them do everything for you, because you get in my wait and see file for sure.
Thank you for that. It's nice to know that we actually do that. So we assist to a certain point, and then they actually have that responsibility of sending that information to you themselves. So.
And it teaches the follow-up and timeliness, because we are looking for all of that for sure.
Okay, thank you. We have another question.
When we graduate, like in my degree, it's not in psychology, which is what I want to do. It's just in arts. But could I still do internships in psychology, do you know? Do I have to wait until my bachelor's degree to do internships?
Oh, for us, you have to be 18 to start your internship. So,
okay.
No, it's not too late. Yes, start your internship.
I was going to say, I think you can apply for an internship anywhere.
Yeah.
You can do psychology. You can, I will tell you, I used to work in a hospital, and we had interns there in every department, learning everything, and that might be a good place for you to turn to, because they have, even if you're not in psychology department, you have access to it. So
that's like a beautiful question, because that's why we're here. We want you. That's exactly what internship is for. It's something that interests you. You want to see if it's a good fit for you. It's exactly what they're for.
That's good. So I know I'll see you in my office, right? Okay, good. Thank you. Any more questions? No one? Okay. Well, real quick, as I come up here, as I act like I'm Oprah today, move on over here. So, question and answers, we've had that. So I actually just want to have the students and let you all know, and everyone who's here, what our eligibility requirements are for the internship program. So right now, just be a current Moraine Valley student taking credited courses. Be here for at least one semester. So prior to actually entering into the internship program, you need to be at Moraine for a semester. However, I do work with students before that time too, so don't be discouraged if this is your first semester. I'll still meet with you and talk with you and go over your resume and also your cover letter. Also be in good academic standing and be in good student standing. So my famous joke is, if you're in good student standing, you did not start the food fight, okay? So you're okay with that. And also be legally eligible to work in the United States.
Can I?
Yep.
I just want to put in a plug for Marie. And I'm doing that because before I came back to school, I used to have a pretty good career. And I was pretty business savvy. And I've been out of the workforce since 2000, career-wise. I've had part-time jobs. But I thought I was pretty on top of my game. And I went to see Marie, and she just introduced me to everything that's going on now that wasn't going on then, or that was going on then that isn't going on now, and it really has helped me get back into understanding what's going on out there, and has built my confidence a little bit more than it was before I met with her. And I mean this with my heart, Marie. You've really been helpful to me, and I encourage anybody to go visit her and let her help you.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I think this really is an Oprah show. Thank you. Thank you so much. Just some information. If you're interested in the internship program, there's our information on there, and I also have orientation. So just want to have that information for you. I wanted to actually do some thank yous before I bring my supervisor up to do the closing. I wanted to thank the staff at the Job Resource Center, who always has my back and helps me. And why I am the way I am, Barbara, is because Pamela is the way she is. So she's a great leader for me. So I definitely want to thank her in that regards. But I want to thank Pamela. I want to thank Tamima, who's in the back there. Raise your hand. Thank you. And then also definitely Jeannie Ostrowski, which you all know. She is the right hand for me, the internship assistant. And then also we have Christine Shirillo, who's back at the office, departmental assistant. Can't say enough words about her. We also have our student employers, Adoria and also Clarice. Troy, thank you so much, always providing this wonderful space for us. Yes, give them a hand. We started this, I think, last year was our first year doing it here. Oh, 2 years, maybe it's 2, yeah. And we just will continue to do this. So as the students, when you are telling people about attending this, definitely encourage them to come. And I just love the space. Tara Jacobson, thank you. I don't know if she's around. No, she isn't, but thank you very much. Also, Glenn Carpenter, who was our photographer, real quick. Marketing and creative services, and then also multimedia staff. Thank you so much. We do have surveys for you also to complete, so before you leave out of here, if you can complete those surveys, we would appreciate that. And then at this time, I want to bring up my director, Pamela Payne.
I almost started crying. We're having a little kumbaya moment. Well, you know, I always enjoy this. It is such a gift every time. And so one of my students is here, and she knows how I am, but I don't know if I'm going to put her on the spot, but is it okay? A little bit to ask you a question? Okay, she's used to this, because in one of my classes I always ask, you know, what did you take away? What is one thing that you took away from this class? So you mind sharing? Okay, thank you. Extra credit.
Really, I'll answer it. No.
Really what I've learned today coming here, I thought, you know, just coming here I would pick someone, say, hey, I want to see if I can do an internship. But it's just much more than that. I think I'm going to walk away here with a lot more knowledge of what an internship means. I never really knew the importance of it, and that means a lot to me. all of your stories and the careers and the experiences. That means a lot. So thank you.
Seems right. Okay, can I put you on the spot? Can you tell me one thing you're going to take away from it? No. Okay, I'm okay. What about you?
Yeah, let me share a little bit. I was starting looking for internship for a while, and then looking online. I never came to campus because I think it's a little driving stuff. But I came today, and I think it's really very important, and I get a lot of information about how important is internship and how helpful for the school will help us. That's a very good platform for us.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing all the information.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to pick one more person. How about this lovely lady over here?
Well, I actually work in the T building, and I help technology students with internships, job readiness, preparedness, in addition to all the wonderful resources at the JRC. So what I took away is just some knowledge that I can bring back and share with students, some key points. I took some little notes here just to share with students because, again, it's one thing like we're all telling you, it's a great opportunity, we want to get you an internship, but sometimes it helps to hear it from others or to hear words or key points that others have to share as well. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, does anybody have any riveting thing they want to say? I don't want to miss out. No? Okay. It's your chance to be on TV. But we really want to thank you all for just being here. And, I just learned so much. So many things were validated. And, going back to Xavier and Barbara, when Xavier was talking about the work ethic, people watch that. And actually, Barbara, we were talking about you this week. Was your ears burning? We were talking about you because I was saying, I don't always see all the campus reps and things like that, and nothing, we've had some great campus reps, but she's been the only one this semester, and I see her all the time plugging Disney and all by herself. And, seriously, and I said, that woman, we are going to do something for her. We are going to do something for her. But that really speaks to her work ethic. I mean, she doesn't have to have anybody over her back telling her, you need to be going here, doing that. And that's exactly what Xavier is talking about, is that people are watching you. They're watching you whether you think they're watching you or not. And there have been plenty of students, like, I've said, you remember that person? Who was that? We need to, so if you ever get a call from our office, it's because I want to see you, but it's for a positive reason. Because we have employers contacting us on a daily basis looking for you all. And so stay connected to us, because then we can be that channel to really help you. And I love what you said, Rose, about, you don't want to coddle them too much, because this is your life. We want to teach you how to fish. We don't want to just feed you for the day. You know what I mean? We'll feed you. I believe in feeding you. But we want you to be able to feed yourself and feed somebody else, right? And so we're just so appreciative for you all being here. And this is fabulous. I mean, it was just a wonderful, each one of you just brought some wonderful wisdom and nuggets. And thank you all so very much for being here. So if you could give our fabulous panel a hand again. And thank you all for being here. And I hope that it was helpful. Yay. And make sure you come by and see us. And thank you, Marie.
Okay, that concludes our panel. So thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you.